wedding ring. So Jordan's husband ring. Thank you all for coming this evening. First public speaking, so I've got a little script each. Thanks for coming to the launch of Jordan's second book, Turbulence, an Extreme Love Story. It's the second of a trilogy of books. Jordan promised me that her third book is the last book. Books are about love. To help write a book, Jordan asked me if she should take a 3-week sabbatical in the Wairarapa, a silent sabbatical. Of course I said yes, knowing full well that silence will probably last till about feathers. You know Jordan. Well, it didn't. I didn't hear a word from her for over 3 weeks, and she didn't finish her first draft. And luckily I was blessed with the honour of being the first one to read it. My copy was hot off the press. It didn't even have a cover, so I called it the uncovered version. All 378 pages of it, one by one. It was a captivating read, chapter by chapter, and I couldn't put it down. Jordan's writing is riveting, playful and colourful. She is open and honest, often revealing her inner self and laying herself bare. She imbues her writing with love and funny quips, with descriptives to food and art, music and philosophy, and at times the esoteric. It's a compelling read. Ladies and gentlemen, my wife, Betsy.
What Rick didn't say is he couldn't put it down because I wouldn't let him. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight. I can't believe it's been 3 years since we were in this room launching I Love You Send Money. And obviously a lot has happened since then. I want to say a special thank you to the people that came from far away. We've got people that have come from Sydney and from Auckland and from Dunedin and the Hut. And they're going to need their passports to go back as well. But no, I really, really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. It's kind of a special day tonight. It's 9th of December, which is my dad's birthday. And I just wanted to honor that because it's kind of one of those reminders where you say, you know, life is really short. He died at 56. And so if you've ever had one of those bucket list things that you need to do, want to do, you need to do it. Because life is short and every day is a gift. And so that was kind of why I wanted to do the 9th of December. It's also George's birthday. So happy birthday, George. And I guess today is also a birth of a new book. And in writing a book, there's a couple of authors in the room who know what I'm talking about. It kind of feels like birth. It's really fun at the beginning. And then 9 months later is kind of a whole different thing when you're looking for the operating manual and it doesn't work. Anyways, so birth of a new book, and the birth couldn't happen without a lot of people. And today we've got India, who's my editor, and I love India. She managed to rip out of my first draft that went to India weeks and weeks of scenes of that French woman in Paris that just I thought was absolutely essential to the plot, which just did not make it, didn't even make it past. But it's definitely a better read, and I so appreciate it. And she will soon be a mother as well. And so I'm not going to ride her too hard on that because we all know as parents, you know, you're in for a turbulent ride. So Turbulence is the name of the second book, and in the book you've got sort of essence of Mile High Club, and then you have Passing the Bar Back. It's got the highs and the lows again of book one, but you kind of this second book is really a little bit more of a self-love journey, and I think for women in particular, I mean men can read it too, there's no reason why you can't. But I think for women, I think it takes us quite a long time to get to that point where we realize, actually, I need to don my own oxygen mask. And so this book is really about doing that. And it took me, again, you know, another 2 years, you know, nobody's counting, but come on. Those of you that read book one, you'll remember that I had close your eyes or cover your ears. Girls, I had a one-night stand in Hawaii, and it was at the end of that whole thing, and I met this fella, and probably Rick, you should close your ears. Anyway, so the rendezvous with Jack boomeranged, and so he was the backdrop really to the next 2 years and the journey that I had to take to discover who I was, and I think it's a journey that a lot of women take, and I'm so grateful to the women in my life. I mean, a lot of you, we've known each other for so long, and the decades, and through the turbulent times and the happy times, and for me, there's just absolutely no way of quantifying that, because we've all had these incredible journeys together. And so thank you for being on this next part of the journey. The other thing, which is really interesting, once you get your shit together, it's funny how the scenery around you changes. And that's when I ended up going online and meeting Rick, and everything sort of started to look a little bit different. And I started to appreciate the couples around me, people like Glenn and Dave, Sharon, Miriam, the people that have been married, Claire and Greg, or together forever, and happy about it, and all that, Dave and all those guys, and the thing is, it's like I thought, well, I have to do a reading this time, because as a lawyer, driver, writer, I have to start playing the game that other writers play. So I'm going to read something, so God, I hope you have a lot of drinks, because it's only 45 minutes long. And I probably wouldn't be able to see it without my cheaters on. But so I'm just going to, it's about couples, and, okay, so just breathe in, breathe out, okay? Or maybe that's just for me. Okay, so I'm just going to do a short reading, and then literally, we're out of here in like 5 minutes, so just okay. So despite its being early days, Jack and I talked often about how we were going to grow old together. We would become the new poster couple for great sex in your 70s with Viagra, never too late to make money retirement investments, and as we were so comfortable in our amazing relationship, bladder control knickers. Or perhaps that would be just me, the serial urinator who couldn't get down the length of drive before needing a toilet stop. Jack spoke often of his vision of the ideal couple, his Papa Billy and Mary. Their darling photo from the olden days was atypical compared to the selfies we're used to today. Reflective, understated faces, no duck lips here, quiet smiles, arms and hands woven together, fingers caressing gently and knowingly. Both were secure in their love and in their relationship together. Until death do us part meant something. Mary reminded me of Sir Edmund Hillary's wife. I had met her just once at a function in Government House. I was in awe of strong women and excitedly focused my barrage of questions towards her rather than Sir Ed. After all, I grew up with the saying behind every successful man. We spoke of the challenge of being the woman behind the scenes of Everest and of the man who knocked the bastard off. He looked on, smiling and nodding. Did you worry about him on his adventures? I asked. It wasn't like he was pottering off to the corner store for a packet of biscuits. And that's when I got it. She looked up at him as he glanced down upon her with a slight smile and almost an air of anticipation, like the student whose mother was in a teacher interview, waiting for something nice to be said. Both he and I were hanging, awaiting for her response. What I recalled the most afterwards wasn't what she said, but how. The pair shared one of those knowing glances that lovers share. They were in that special place where only two who knew each other's minds, hearts, and souls could go. They were in the middle of a public function, yet as she began her reply, there was no stopping him. I turned to see his cheeks lift, revealing his crooked teeth, as a wide grin spread over his wrinkled face, eyes twinkling like Santa. Turning away, he was like a schoolboy finding something to focus upon in the crowd. Was Sir Ed blushing? In that moment, I considered how much he needed her, how much strength and support she gave him. Tenzing Norgay may have been his Sherpa and gained fame, but the man who knocked off Everest had something even stronger behind him. He had the backing and devotion of his beloved wife. Papa Billy and Mary's photo took me back to that Sir and Lady Hillary's, connected, playful, knowing place. A place I wanted to be with my beloved Jack in the days to come. Jack had already inherited Papa's full head of hair and the cowlick up front that I would likely last until his blonde hair turned gray. I would run my arthritic fingers through that beautiful mane. We might even add pharma to our modeling career and get some free medical samples. Papa's well-worn face was like a journey map. Jack would have one too. Already his smile lines lingered after the fact, and the contours that framed his beautiful dark brown eyes increasingly deepened. Jack would make a fine, distinguished-looking older gentleman. I looked forward to telling our grandkids, as the woman behind the man, of his and our adventures gallivanting across the globe. They'd listen in awe and see that we had the kind of love shared by Papa Billy and Mary, Sir Ed and Lady Hilary. I couldn't wait. We just needed to get through the next 25 years. So anyway, so that's a little bit from the book. So as we did last time, we've got the whole pay it forward philosophy here in the library bar. So we've got a what is this called? A bathtub. A bathtub. I've been in the bathtub. So have some of you actually. So within each of these bags, what I've got is a gift of my book for you in that whole pay it forward philosophy. And so all I ask is that you write a review, an honest review on Goodreads. So you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to write a good, just honest. And what the really cool thing is we've got a couple of people as well that are in the room that also added to the little loot bags for grown-ups. We've got Annie Patterson, who offered a 30% off coupon at her beautiful store Viva. She has fabulous women's clothing. And we've also got a woman, Gabrielle Baker, who's an artist, so she's also included some little artwork in there. So, and there's a 20% off coupon for Love Assist for those of you that are looking for it. In addition to that, the really cool thing about the bags is that I didn't tie them closed, so they're really, really quite big. So if you wanted to purchase additional books, there's plenty of room in the bags for those. So we've got book one, if some of you haven't read book one, I Love You Send Money. We've got Turbulence copies. We've got Elevate Your Wellbeing on sale in the room next door. And they're all $25. So it's about 10-15% off retail, up to 50% off. We've got audiobooks as well. So feel free to fill your bags. And even if you do fill your bag and you're going, oh my gosh, where can I put that other one? We've actually brought more bags. So please enjoy the food. Thank you so much for coming, and I so appreciate this. This is it's a huge milestone, and enjoy the food. The drinks are a bit slow, so you might want to preload and order 2 at a time. And otherwise, enjoy, and I'll see you soon.